everybody. Thank you so much. Let's all give it up for BettySoo for bringing us into the room with all that beautiful music. Always nice to come in and already sort of be getting into the space of the stuff that's healing and sustaining. And we are so excited to have BettySoo in this space with us. We haven't been able to get her in here for a while, and we are excited to be able to spend some time with her, sing an important song. We'll get back to BettySoo in just a moment. Let's super quick say hello to everybody who's watching us on YouTube. Hello, YouTube. Thank you so much for watching us. And as folks know, our Facebook page was suspended and we're not streaming on Facebook right now because we cannot. And so we're asking everybody who's watching out there on YouTube, please let everybody know that you can think of to come and find us on YouTube. We're still here and we're worried that people won't know that. Let's say hi to everybody in the room. Athena in Brooklyn. Nice to see you. And Athena is reminding me that today is day 1,886 consecutive days of singing here in the Daily Antidote of Song. It's kind of landmark as we get closer and closer to that 2,000 day mark. And thank you so much, Athena. Laris in the UK, nice to see you here today. Thanks for the beautiful heart tree. David and Elsie coming in from Oakland. Hello. Delhi in Maryland. Hi to Joanna. Nice to see you here today. I'm not sure if you've been here before. We're really glad to have you. Hoda in British Columbia. Good to see you. Bob, Mabel, and the Bears in Massachusetts. Kath coming in from the UK. Kath is one of our song leaders in here, formerly of Cordelia's dad, and we're really glad to have you. Louise coming in from Devon, UK. Carolyn and friend coming in from somewhere, probably Boise. Kathy in Colorado. And maybe I know the friend, I can't see. Aloysius in Massachusetts, Sydney in San Francisco, Sheila in Florida, Bob in Albany, Trish in Victoria, Kathleen in Albuquerque, Linda on Orcas Island, Storm in Massachusetts, Pauline and William in Newcastle, UK. Everybody wave to 100-year-old William. Hello, William, we love you. Amanda and Miles in Michigan, Ruth and Clive coming in from Birmingham, UK, Caroline in DC, Marion coming in from Brighton, UK, Alice and Leanna coming in from Vermont. Phil Hogg coming in from Leipzig. You got to put the country there for me. I'm not sure I have that right, so I don't want to say it. Let's see, Kay in Texas. Olga, Ariana, thanks for running tech today, coming out of Los Angeles. Diane in New Hampshire. And Julie in Ontario. Thanks so much, everybody. Let's all take a deep breath. If I missed you on the hello end, I will get you on the goodbye end. Grateful again to all of you for being here today. I'm Jo Rossi. I'm the founder and the director of the Daily Antidote of Song. And I got to say, I love this program. And there are times where the need for it seems really more explicitly clear. And I kind of feel like we're in one of those times right now. Really, the news just seems to get worse every day. And so thank goodness we can come into this space. We can see each other. We can look each other in the eye. We can smile. We can sing to bring ourselves joy and strength, but we can also sing and talk about the issues and how we can maybe contribute out even more than we're already doing to try to make our world a great place again. All right, we are very lucky to have with us BettySoo, who is actually on tour right now, not coming in from what I think is your usual Austin, Texas. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah, I'm out in California right now.
Right. Okay. Coming in from on tour with James McMurtry. And I think you guys have been touring for a while and are going to be touring for a while more.
Yep. We start at the beginning of the month and we'll go till the end of the month.
That's awesome. I can't wait to hear more about it. BettySoo is an amazing singer-songwriter out of Austin, Texas. She's been in this room with us at least a handful of times, and it's always a treat to be with her. BettySoo, I'm going to turn it to you. If you can just tell us what you're going to sing, maybe sing the chorus through once, and then we'll sing it all through with you.
Sounds great. Well, this is a song by Woody Guthrie that I used to sing pretty often and just got away from for a few years, but sadly, it's still relevant after 77 years. And I look forward to the day that this beautiful song feels like a story of long ago and not like our present day circumstances. Unfortunately, we're watching it unfold right here, both in my home state, Texas, and the state where we're touring in California and all across the country. This is a song by Woody Guthrie called Deportees, sometimes called Skyplane over Los Gatos Canyon. And thought we could do it together. So the chorus goes like this. Goodbye to my one. Goodbye, Rosalita. Adios, mis amigos. Jesús y María. We won't have an airplane. All they will call you will be deportees. All right, should we do the whole song? The crops are all in, and the peaches are rotten. The oranges are piled in their creosote dumps. They're taking you back to the Mexican border to take all your money just to come back again. Well, my father's own father, he waded that river, and they took all the money he made in his life. My brothers and sisters came to work in a fruit tree. They rode in those trucks till they laid down and died. Sing it with me. Goodbye to my one. Goodbye, Rosalida. Adios, mis amigos. Jesús y María. You won't have a name when you ride the big airplane. It's all they will call you will be deportees. Well, some of us are illegal and some just unwanted. Our work contract's up and we gotta move on. You know it's 600 miles to that Mexican border. They chase us like outlaws, like rustlers, like thieves. So we died in your hills, we died in your deserts, we died in your valleys, and we died on your plains. We died neath your trees, we died in your bushes. Both sides of that river, we died just the same. Goodbye to my one, goodbye, Rosalida. Adios, mis amigos, Jesús y María. Won't have a name when you ride the big airplane, 'cause all they will call you will be deportee. That sky plane caught fire over Los Gatos Canyon. It was a fireball of lightning that shook all the hills. Well, who are these friends, all scattered like dry leaves? The radio says, oh, they're just deportees. Is this the best way to grow our big orchards? Is this the best way to grow our good fruit? They fall like dry leaves and rot on the topsoil and be known by no name except Deportee. Chorus one last time together, let's go. Goodbye to my one, goodbye Rosalita, adios mis amigos, Jesús y María. We won't have a name when you ride the big airplane, 'cause all they will call you will be deportees.
Thank you so much, BettySoo. We sang that song recently with Jillian Matundin in this room. I think it was last week. And at the time I mentioned I had just sung it a couple days before that with Lilo Gonzalez at a in-person community sing. And I feel like we can't sing that song too much right now. Like it's just it's so on our minds and it's so present and seeping through our culture. And so I'm so glad that you brought that song to us, that that's what you picked, that that's what you're thinking about. And I'd love to hear more about how you're thinking and feeling these days.
Sure. Well, a few nights ago we were in LA and everybody was, asking if we were worried about going into the city. And I got to tell you, our hotel was literally a block away from the curfew zone, and there was just nothing going on. It was totally calm. It was totally peaceful. And, the reports from the city saying, hey, this is being wildly exaggerated. Yes, there's some horrible graffiti. Yes, there's been, you know, one car on fire, which we've all seen on the side of the road before. I mean, I'm not saying it's okay to set a car on fire, but the levels of of action or malaction that they said that we should be worried about really wasn't visible nor present in the city. It was business as usual in LA, and we were relieved, but we were also, you know, I guess, further disheartened to realize what exaggerations people will be willing to manifest and spread in order to sow fear and to cause people to agree with military action against our own civilians. And you know, it, it's just it was it it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking to see people who are lined up to work all day in the hot sun, rounded up like outlaws, like rustlers, like thieves, and to think that Woody Guthrie penned those words 77 years ago, thinking that it would cause the change, or help foment the change to make that not a current issue. I mean, we're all seeing reports from employers around the country who thought this was a good thing, voted in this manner, and now their whole work crews are gone and they don't know how they're going to continue their business. I mean, the fact is our entire nation has always run on the work of immigrants, and at all strata of our society, and we all, we are all just at the mercy of the lottery of where and to whom we are born, and to view ourselves as separated by more than that, I think, is a pretty scary thought.
Thank you. Beautiful, BettySoo. I feel like, there's a lot going on in the news right now. Yesterday's news, and I think, but the day before is the Israel-Iran conflict, which is obviously increasing by the minute. And it's part of the machinery of what is happening right now is the idea that there is just escalation and issue and drama. And it's hard to even figure out where to sit on any given day, what to be working on or mourning or feeling, because it's just so chaotic and so coming at you every minute. And so many of the issues, and I would say the LA one, and as you just described it, it is in fact very wedge oriented. Like it's about driving a wedge between people in order to create the chaos that has people
Absolutely.
not sure how to say. And yesterday we had Alistair Mook in the room, who also he brought two Lead Belly songs,
Mm,
which were really great to sing. And his notion yesterday was we have to remember to also just sing for fun. And I think it was a really really good day. And within the 2 weeks before he was in our room singing for fun, he was posting things on Facebook that are so eloquently, beautifully written. And I really recommend folks check out Alistair's Facebook page to read what he's been posting about. At that time, he was posting about the Gaza-Israel conflict. And like, we can't keep up, right? Because today we need to be posting about the Iran-Israel conflict. And it's exhausting and it's upsetting. And the best I think that we can do is to hold steady, stay focused, and sort of keep one step at a time, being really thoughtful about how we proceed and what we say, because even without meaning to, some of us are sometimes caught up in that sort of distracting, what's the word for when the drama is so high, we lose sight of the issue itself, right? And
right. Yeah.
yeah.
One kernel that I'm trying to take hope from is that, over the past 50 years or so, the different minority groups with different, skin colors in this country have been given kind of a striated level of privilege based on their light skin privilege. And what it does is create a wedge between minority groups, right, and cause them to fight each other and cause us to fight each other. And I think the one kernel of hope that I am clinging to at this point is that now that there is such persecution of every minority, every non-white minority group, that perhaps like 60 or 70 years ago, we will actually band together and help one another and forget about the false privilege that one or another small group of us has received and realize that without the whole, we don't have anything.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Thanks, BettySoo. I have to say, like, that brings back to mind something that I learned during the sort of 2020 year when a lot of us were really learning a lot more heightened anti-racist stuff. And I learned something that I hadn't known before, which was that the slave holders in the U.S. who understood they were outnumbered, it encouraged the idea of whiteness being something important in order to have the poor whites who were essentially working as slaves feel like they could band with the white owners and against the African slaves. And you can see
Yes,
it's the same thing, right? It's driving a wedge between people that stops people from seeing each other's humanity and gives someone potentially a badge of honor to feel just a little better about their life and be willing to
right.
therefore treat somebody a little worse. And it's a similar phenomenon. And again, like bringing it back at every moment as we can to that, like just humanity is,
Right.
I feel like so important right now for us to hold. BettySoo, anything else that you'd like to say about, either the song or about where you're sitting? And otherwise, I'm going to throw some other questions at you.
Well, I think, well, two quick things. I was thinking recently about the idea of the prisoner's dilemma, which I don't know how many people are familiar with it, but the idea is you take two people who, are both probably have committed the same crime together, and you ask each of them separately to rat out the other. And if they do, then they get rewarded. If they don't, they get nothing. If they, and so it kind of benefits them to rat out the other and to be disloyal to their partner. And I think what people in power have often done to maintain their power is to treat the vast public in this way. And just remember that before you are tempted to take part in it in that way, that it is those who are in power who are treating you like a prisoner in the first place. That they are treating both you and this other group that they want you to step on as prisoners. They see you both as prisoners. And so if you refuse to be treated like a prisoner and you refuse to treat this other person like a prisoner, then you actually outnumber those in power. So that's one thing to keep in mind that I've been thinking about. Another thing is there's a great podcast that comes out of Durham, North Carolina called Scene on Radio, SCENE. A great, great program. I'm sure Joe, you are totally into it. And about 5 years ago, maybe they had an entire season on whiteness that I've been revisiting. I listened to back a few years ago and have been listening to again, and it is really excellent, deep, investigative reporting about how these concepts even entered into our society in America. It's really powerful stuff. But yeah,
Yeah.
those are my two little
Okay.
bits.
That's amazing because, so first of all, not everyone in this room has been with us since the very beginning, but in 2020, we actually listened to that podcast as part of the anti-racism training that we were
Wow.
doing. Yeah. And it was pretty amazing. And John Bun has remained one of my favorite people. And actually during sound check, as we were talking about issues, I almost said to you, I don't know if you know this podcast, Scene on Radio, but he just did one, the most recent one is on capitalism. And one could say like, oh, capitalism, economics, whatever, that's not my interest, except it's exactly rooted in all of the same stuff that we're talking about right now in this moment and all the rest of it. It is a 12-hour series plus 1 hour. And I listened to all 13 hours in two basically 6-hour drives, 6.5-hour drives, because I couldn't put it down kind of concept. It is so brilliant. And it gives me so much hope about the subtlety of thought that is required at this time for us to really be able to stay focused and to be able to continue to see the actual perpetrators and the actual issues. And that can get very confusing and chaotic.
Right. It's
Betty,
hopeful to know that there are allies out there, you know?
it's
Yeah.
so helpful. Yeah. So if everybody doesn't know it, I'll try to get a link in the chat. But I recommend both the Whiteness podcast and the Capitalism podcast. And quite frankly, now that I know that, I look at all the other ones he's done. I think he's got, I don't know, 7 seasons or 8 seasons.
Oh yeah, and they're all excellent.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking like, oh, maybe they're all also still talking about all of the same stuff, but just through a different lens, right? Which is like really very helpful in broadening the way we see things. Amazing. I hate to get off the topic because I could talk about this all day, and especially, yeah, I'm so invested and so it's so in my mind at every moment right now that I do feel like I want to keep finding forms to talk about it. So I hate to stop this on a Saturday, but I know you are on tour and you have things to do, and I know folks in the room sometimes can't stay very long. So can I just throw out a completely unrelated question, which is, can you tell me everything you've got coming up so that everybody...
Sure, of course, of course. Yeah, so we're on tour right now. We'll be on tour through the end of the month. I have a new record coming out in a month in July, after only, I don't know, 11 years of not releasing an album. So I'm very excited about that. And I'll just be touring, behind that. And as Joe mentioned, I've been on tour with James McMurtry, and he's known for his kind of social bravery, and we've been talking every day on the road about balancing our personal bravery and our desire to stand up and give an example for fans and to give them somebody to see as an ally. And the concerns and needs of our family members and friends and people who need us to be around and available to them in our lives. And just kind of that balance between responsibility for safety for those who depend on us and wanting to really be brave and be willing to risk whatever we need to risk, to stand up, because it's no longer symbolic. These are people's lives that are really being treated like nothing, and we can't sit idly by. So we're touring. We both have new records. We're both trying to work and keep the music going and keep people gathering. I think there is something that feels really good about being in a space where live music is happening, and to know that most of the people in the room with you are like-minded. And so both here virtually and in a concert hall, I think it's really important work. I'm glad you guys are here.
Thank you so much, BettySoo. And I just want to let's all please give it up for BettySoo, for the bravery and for the public voice, and for other folks we had in this room this week: Sally Rogers, Emma's Revolution, Alistair Mook, just all out there being the voice that we need to hear. That does take a lot of bravery. And And I'm glad that you're bringing that up, because we can also be helpful in how we post and repost the great messages that they're putting out there, to sort of let the artists know that they also have allies, right? Because it's great that you stand as a visible ally for us, but we need to stand back as one for you. So BettySoo, how would you feel about singing again?
Oh, sure, sure.
Let's,
Should we do
let's,
that chorus together again?
let's do the whole song if you don't
A
mind.
whole song. Okay, no worries. The crops are all in, and the peaches are rotten. The oranges are piled in their creosote dumps. They're taking you back to the Mexican border to take all your money just to come back again. My father's own father, he waded that river. They took all the money he made in his life. My brothers and sisters come to work in the fruit trees, and they rode in those trucks till they laid down and died. Goodbye, my one, goodbye, Rosalida. Adiós, mis amigos, Jesús y María. You won't have a name when you ride the big airplane. All they will call you will be deportee. Some of us are illegal, some just unwanted. Work contracts up and we gotta move on. It's 600 miles, the Mexican border. They chase us like outlaws, like rustlers, like thieves. So we died in your hills, and we died in your deserts. We died in your valleys, and we died on your plains. We died beneath your trees, and we died in your bushes. Both sides of that river will die just the same. Goodbye to my one, goodbye, Rosalida. Adiós, mis amigos, Jesús y María. You won't have a name when you ride the big airplane. All they will call you will be deportees. Well, the sky plane caught fire over Los Gatos Canyon. It was a fireball of lightning that shook all hills. Who are these friends all scattered like dry leaves? Well, the radio says, oh, they're just deportees. Is this the best way to grow our big orchards. Tell me, is this the best way to grow our good fruit? To fall like dry leaves, just to rot on the topsoil, and be known by no name except Deportee. Goodbye, Demawa. Goodbye, Rosalita. Adios, mis amigos. Jesus y Maria. You won't have a name when you ride the big airplane, 'cause all they will call you will be Deportee.
Thank you, BettySoo, from the bottom of my heart. And everybody, can we please all, yeah, always,
And back to you.
yeah, beautiful. Thank you. So, so nice to have you in the space with us again. We'll have links in the chat for your website and all your social media and your tour. And we hope lots of folks in the room will find you along the way. Congratulations in advance for the potential July release. And we look forward to seeing it, hearing more about it. We'll let folks know about that as well when it comes out. And it's always great to have you. Hope to see you very soon on your tour myself. Yeah, like maybe even this September. Okay, everybody, please let's give another big thank you to BettySoo.
Thank you.
Thanks, BettySoo. We're gonna wave you out of the room so you can go get busy. First thing for tour. And thanks so much for being with us. Lots of love and
Thanks so much.
soon. Bye. So we're saying goodbye to BettySoo, who's joined us from California today, generally coming in from Austin. And if you hang tight, we'll have links in the chat in just a minute. I want to also just let everybody know what we've been up to all week and who's up tomorrow. So we've really had a very good week of people bringing a lot of thoughtful discussion and a lot of thoughtful songs to us. If you've missed any of it this week, I really recommend you go back, because it was just a really, it's a tough time, and our week addressed that. So Sally Rogers came in from Connecticut on Monday, Pat and Sandy, Emma's Revolution in California on Tuesday, Zoe Hannah Wren, new to us, coming in from Canada on Wednesday, Jeff Warner came in live from Pinewoods with me on Thursday, Alistair Mook yesterday with just some very good, thoughtful discussion, BettySoo today, of course, amazing, and tomorrow we have Jubilee Voices kicking off the Juneteenth week that we are going to be putting out next week. And next week's Juneteenth week is going to be co-sponsored with Washington Rebels. And we're delighted to have them on board as a partner this week. And it's going to be another great week here in the Daily Antidote. All right, we're going to say goodbye to everybody out there on YouTube. Thanks so much for being with us, YouTube folks. And we can't wait to see you here tomorrow. A reminder again to everybody who's watching that since our Facebook page was suspended for reasons still yet unknown, we are asking folks to please help get the word out that the Daily Antidote is still here, because we are worried that folks who've always come and found us on Facebook will just think that we don't exist anymore. So as much as you can, please be posting on social media, getting the word out to your communities and your friends that we are here on YouTube and here in the Zoom room every day at noon Eastern, just like always. And we plan to keep going and getting into some good trouble as we go forward. So, all right. Big thanks again to everybody on YouTube. Let's say goodbye to everybody in this room, and a happy Saturday to you all. Athena in Brooklyn, thank you so much. And thanks again for reminding me that we are on day 1,886 consecutive days of singing here in the Daily Antidote. Laris in the UK, thank you so much. Great to see you. Hoda in British Columbia, lovely to see your face today. Bob, Mabel, and a bunch of bears, thanks for being with us today. Kath Tyler coming out of UK, thanks for being here. Louise in Devon, UK, thank you. Sydney in San Francisco. Phil, I thought so. Okay, I don't even know if I'm saying it right. Leipzig is in Germany, which I thought, but I didn't want to say the wrong thing. So there's Traveling Phil today showing up in Germany. Tomorrow it'll be Japan again. Sheila in Florida, thank you so much. So Bob in Albany, thank you for being with us. And Trish in Victoria, Kathleen in Albuquerque, Alice and Leanna in Vermont, Martha in Oregon, Clive and Ruth in Birmingham, UK, Linda coming in from Orcas Island, Caroline in DC, Pauline and William in Newcastle, UK, Amanda and Miles over there in Michigan. Nice to see both of you. Joanna, thank you for being here. Oh, AKA JoJo, she says. Well, like a JoJo meets a JoJo. Diane in Puerto Rico, Deli in Maryland, Carolyn in Idaho with a friend behind her. Nice to see you, friend. Oh, wait, is that Storm? That's crazy. Okay, that's Storm. Ha, that's amazing. All right. Carolyn is not in Idaho. She is in Massachusetts at Storm's house. Crazy. David and Elsie in Oakland, California. Yeah, I'm not sure I'm going to recover from that one enough to finish these goodbyes in any. Alice is in Massachusetts. Now we have Carolyn and Storm again. That's how they cued me. Got it. Ariana, thanks for running tech to us today, for us today out of Los Angeles. Nancy and the Irish cow over there in Washington, state of Washington. See, I'm tongue-tied. Elizabeth in California, Curly Tops in Vermont, Lynn coming in from Connecticut, Kat in Vermont, who looks to me like she's coming in from, I'm going to pin that for a second. Thanks, Kat. I hope everybody can see that. It looks like Kat is doing a very good thing of being at one of the King's Day protests. And of course, as everybody knows, in Washington, D.C., there's a very, very large march planned. I think it's for today. People can nod and tell me, is it today or tomorrow? It's today, right? Yeah, okay. And so we have a lot of work to do as a culture, as a globe. We've got a lot of work to do. Curly Tops Vermont, Linden, Connecticut, Kat in Vermont, and Diane and Aloysius coming in from New Hampshire. I want to thank everybody so much for being here today. Can't wait to see you all tomorrow for Jubilee Voices right here, noon Eastern, kicking off a Juneteenth week. Lots of love, everybody. See you soon.